The rain poured steadily that evening, a relentless downpour that blurred the world outside the windshield into a hazy watercolor of grays and blues. The rhythmic sound of raindrops against the roof of the car was both soothing and maddening as the protagonist navigated the slick roads, their mind still tangled in the events of a long, exhausting day at work. Each red light felt like an eternity, each slow-moving vehicle a reminder of the fatigue that clung to their bones. Thoughts of deadlines, meetings, and the insistent buzz of emails played in a loop, a soundtrack of stress that accompanied the heavy clouds overhead. As the headlights pierced through the sheets of rain, a flicker of movement caught their eye. Something small and dark huddled on the side of the road. At first, it seemed like a trick of the light, perhaps a piece of debris blown by the wind, but as they drew closer, the shape became clearer. It was a small puppy, soaked to the skin, curled into a tight ball, shivering against the cold. The protagonist's heart sank. There was no collar, no tag, just a pair of wide, fearful eyes peering out from a matted coat of fur. Instinct kicked in. They pulled over, the tires splashing through puddles as they parked on the shoulder, the engine still humming softly. The rain drummed a steady beat on the roof of the car, but the sound faded as they stepped into the storm, water soaking through their shoes almost immediately. Cautiously, they approached the trembling creature, aware that sudden movements could frighten it further. The puppy's growl was weak, a feeble attempt to assert itself, but it was clear that fear overpowered any bravado. "Hey there, little one," the protagonist said softly, kneeling down to the puppy's level. They extended a hand slowly, palm up, allowing the puppy to sniff and assess the situation. The growl faded, replaced by a tentative curiosity. After what felt like an eternity, the puppy leaned forward, resting its head in the warmth of their hand, a silent plea for comfort. In that moment, something shifted. The puppy had chosen to trust. Realizing they couldn't leave him behind, the protagonist quickly removed their jacket, wrapping it gently around the small, shivering body. The warmth of the fabric seemed to soothe the puppy, who nestled closer, seeking solace from the storm. With a sense of purpose, the protagonist cradled the puppy against their chest and hurried back to the car, grateful for the shelter it provided from the relentless rain. The drive home felt surreal, the world outside a blur of headlights and reflections in puddles, while the warmth of the puppy against their chest was a stark contrast to the chill of the evening. They named him Rain, a fitting tribute to the night that had brought them together, a reminder of the storm that had threatened to wash away everything, but had instead delivered a small miracle. Once home, the protagonist set to work drying Rain off, wrapping him in towels and speaking softly to reassure him. The puppy shivered but remained still, those big expressive eyes watching every movement with a mix of wariness and hope. They offered him food, a small bowl of kibble that he approached cautiously. Rain sniffed at the food, taking a few tentative bites before retreating to a corner, still unsure of this new environment and the person who had rescued him. Days passed, and Rain remained a quiet presence in the house, following the protagonist like a shadow, a silent observer of their daily routine. He was a small bundle of fur and uncertainty, but his eyes spoke volumes. The protagonist, too, felt a shift within themselves. Living alone for so long had created a fortress around their heart, a protective barrier against the world. But Rain, with his timid nature and gentle spirit, began to chip away at those walls. As the days turned into weeks, Rain started to blossom. The initial silence gave way to soft barks and playful yips, the sound of a puppy discovering joy in the little things. He would greet the protagonist with a wagging tail and an eager leap whenever they returned home, his eyes sparkling with excitement. The bond between them deepened, a connection forged in trust and companionship. Rain became more than just a pet. He was a best friend, a loyal companion who filled the once quiet home with laughter and life. The protagonist found themselves laughing more, playing with Rain in the living room, tossing toys and watching him pounce with unrestrained joy. They took long walks together, Rain bounding ahead, exploring every nook and cranny of the world outside, his spirit infectious. The simple act of caring for another being opened up a well of emotions that had long been dormant. Rain taught them to embrace vulnerability, to let love in again, and to understand that companionship could heal even the deepest wounds. The rainy night that had begun with uncertainty and fear transformed into a beautiful journey of discovery. Rain had emerged as a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, light could find its way in. The protagonist realized they had not only saved a puppy, but had, in turn, been saved themselves. Rain had become family, a small creature with a heart full of love, bringing warmth to a once lonely life. As the seasons changed, the bond between them only grew stronger. Rain was no longer just a puppy. He was a symbol of resilience, a testament to the unexpected joys that life could bring. On that rainy evening, when everything seemed dreary and heavy, a little creature had turned the tide, reminding the protagonist that love, in its purest form, could be found in the most unlikely of places. Together they faced the world, side by side, a duo forged in the rain, ready to embrace whatever came next.